Dunkachino, what are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? Hey, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy. Come here. Come here. Ugh. You're a good buddy. Okay. So, I'm going to be honest with you. I just woke up. Yeah, I just woke up. It's after 10 o'clock at night. And we had a big night planned, but there's no way I got the energy to make that happen. So we're here to do something a little bit different because I could really just go back to bed right now. In fact, I should, but I don't think it'd be right to shortchange you. I don't want to just get on here and be like, "Hey guys, Project Melvin continues," but I'm not gonna leave you empty-handed where I'm just bitching. So I think as the title explains, we should, before I go back to bed, should read a bedtime story. How am I this evening? I'm very, very tired. I just woke up. Murder Cycle coming in, subscribing with, what is it? A tier 1, but for what platform? On Twitch. On Twitch of all places. Thank you so much. Thank you. Coming in and resubscribing. I do appreciate that. So we do have there's a big stream I'm working on, which would have been for tonight, but that's okay. We'll do it on Thursday, which is actually, I think, more is better because tomorrow I got a huge day, so I can't be up till 2 in the morning. But that's all right. I need a little bit more time to cook it. Because I'll tell you at the end of tonight what we're going to do on Thursday and who we're going to talk about. Some of you might be excited. Some of you may not give a shit. But before we go and do that, though, tonight, before I go back to bed, I'm going to read you a bedtime story. There's nothing better than when you're ready to go to bed than having a good bedtime story. Now, you may be also saying, well, wait a minute. What are we going to do tomorrow before Thursday? Tomorrow, I don't know. We'll figure something out. We might go on the road again tomorrow. We might do one of those, which would be fun. But Thursday's a big one. We're going to do a big one Thursday. Because it's going to count Thursday. We're going to start on Thursday. We're going to bleed into Friday. That's how we're going to do it. We're going to make it count. If I do that, that's my thing. If we're going to do that where it's like one day bleeds into the other, I want to make it count. So I want to really make it worth it. I don't want to just half-ass it. So, but anyway, we're gonna look at my library here, and we're gonna see, hey, what's a good bedtime story? What would be a good bedtime story to do? Would it be, what do we got? Chuck Palahniuk's Adjustment Day? Should we read that? I think this is a bit too long. That'd be a little too much to do. Rules of Attraction by Bret Easton Ellis. No, I think that's a little too much. We got anything else here? Maybe. Oh, how about Time Flies by Bill Cosby? Still a little heavy. I mean, these are all kind of stories of his life, so they're kind of a bunch of short stories into one. Oh, here, I didn't know this was in here. You could read The Incredible Creep. How'd that get in there? Let's see, I liked Hop on Pop when I was a kid. Unfortunately, I don't have any Hop on Pop. unfortunately, I don't have that. I think we got... There's something I'm looking for. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? This is pretty good. I think this is appropriate. I don't know if any of you know about this book. This is kind of... when did this come out? Was it in the early 2000s? Damn, I was going to suggest Hop on Pop. It was so sad how they hopped on Pop. So I think, unfortunately, I don't have Hop on Pop. But in the idea of Hop on Pop, we do have a few... And you know what? We're not going to finish this whole thing, but maybe this is something we can lean into. A nice, healthy reading from The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories. Okay? The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories by Tim Burton. You know this book? Yeah, I was just looking in here. Apparently this came out in 97. Yeah, copyright 1997. When was this one printed? There's no way. Was it 97 this was printed? I didn't buy this in 97. I bought this in probably 2006 or something. But, oh, your homie has it? It's a good one? Yeah, I don't know it, but you loved him? Okay. Well, there's a bunch of nice little stories in the... if you're like, hey, I'm looking for something like Hop on Pop, right? However, I would like something with just a little bit more depth. I think this is the book for you. I really do. And, it just takes me back to growing up. When I was a kid, I would have someone read to me before I go to bed. Or if I stayed at when I was at my grandparents' house, my grandma would sing me like a lullaby as a kid. You get a little lullaby. But I remember my dad would read to me or something like that, or and it would be like, I remember it was one of the books. It was a chapter book, so we get like a chapter a night. And it was the sequel. I don't know if anyone knows about this. It was the sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The boy with nails in his eyes. Oh yeah, we'll get through it. But it was a sequel to Charlie and the Chocolate Factory called, was it Charlie and the Great Glass Elevator or something like that? So the idea is, and this is the most insane concept. I don't know why they never made this into a movie. Where they went and they, at the end of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, the book, I think in the book, it ends similar to the movie. I don't remember. It's been so long since I read the book. But I believe they take the glass elevator up and then they go and they go up into the sky and then they go and they pick up Charlie's grandparents and then they bring them back to the chocolate factory, right? Yeah, okay. So, in the sequel, they go up into space with his grandparents. Okay? And then they're in space. I don't know why they're in space, but for some reason they're in space. And then his grandparents are all in the bed still. If you remember, they're all like in one bed, which is kind of weird. Look, I was like, oh, why you got all these sets of grandparents in one bed? But anyway. And then they go and they land on a planet, and then there's these alien things called, hold on, I think I got it. Is it Vernicious Canids? Is that what they were called? Does anyone check me? Then they all realized they were in a diabetic coma. Oh wait, what was that? Hold on, I can't see. Grandpa Joe's a fucking scumbag. He don't deserve to go to space. Oh man, that's good. Oh, wait, you know what? Hold on. Hold that thought real quick. Hold that thought. I have to grab something, so I don't have to shove the camera up my nose every time I want to read the chat here. We have technology on our sides. So, if I go here, I'm sorry, back on topic. I was told I was to write more nonfiction for your story time. Well, yeah, we were talking about the Fife fictions back in the day. So, we might bring that back. More nonfiction? I don't know about nonfiction. We were talking about Fife fiction. That's what we were talking about. But anyway, let me pull this up here. And then, so I can have the chat here. And then, let me open up this over here. So I can have the chat over here. Hold on one second. Oh, Kick's now finally got a... You know what's crazy is Kick now has been able to get a DVR function before Twitch. That's sad. For Twitch, anyway. There we go. Alright, now I can cycle between the... God damn it. Cycle between the chats here. I cannot read your name without getting hungry. Anyway, alright. Kick doesn't even have a fucking sub button on mobile. Really? Oh, because they don't want to probably pay the kickback for it, right? That would make sense. Say racist in your iPhone, speak to text shit. Say racist in your iPhone, speak to text shit. I don't know what that means. I'm confused by that. But anyway. You can give subs all day, but you can't sub yourself. Oh, you can give subs on your phone, but you can't actually subscribe. That's great. That's great. So anyway, let's get back on topic because I like to get in bed. I honestly though, like last night was supposed to be a chill night so I can get some things taken care of because my schedule's a little crazy. And we did an extra long double number one story. What was it? That was Sunday into Monday, a twofer, right? For Sunday and Monday. So if you're saying, where were you yesterday? Well, I streamed way before you were even expecting it, technically. Because we were streaming till almost 3 a.m. So that counts. But maybe when you use speech to text to fill it instead of typing, if you hit the mic on your keyboard, say racist shit instead of saying racist, it will say Trump for a quick... Oh, I heard about this. Yeah. But anyway, let's get back on topic, okay? You're eating right now, and I can just say, cue my life choices because I waited until it was like 50 degrees outside to eat soup after eating ice cream and weird, not warm food all winter. Yeah, well, that's my problem. I was digging out new pants. So they're new to me. I've had them for a while, but I've never worn them. And I'm like, I can't fit into half these. I gotta lose some weight. But the biggest problem is, and I realize this, well, not even the biggest problem, one of the many, many, many problems, is that I get really cold when I am dieting. So I'm so much more tempted just to eat junk food just to stay warm. And it's easier in the summertime. It's easy for me to lose weight because what I'll do is like, do I want to turn the air conditioning on? Or do I just want to like stay chill today and not be all sweaty and not eat? And then I'll just like, oh, we don't have to eat today. Anyway, so way off topic. As you can see, my brain's everywhere. I'm tired. I want to go back. I literally crawled out of bed. I was in bed, just dressed, fully dressed. That's how tired I was. And I was like, oh, let me just lay down for like 20 minutes. And I had some video going on my phone, and I woke up, and it was an hour-long video No, it was an hour and a half video, and it was on for an hour. I was just out. I was like, whoa, this is not... I'm going to go back to bed. So, anyway, bedtime story time, okay? Today, we're going to begin the melancholy death of Oyster Boy and other stories. So I think we're going to do this for a while until we finish this book. Every time that I'm fucking dead fucking tired and we have to stream to make sure that we're living up to the promises of Project Melvin. So, yeah, the melancholy death of Oyster Boy and other stories. Well, we're going to start with... We'll go through... How many stories are there? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25... 25. There's 25 of them. So I think we can go through... We'll start with 3, and we'll see how long it takes us to get through 3. Are you going to do the voices like you do for the literature club? Well, they're not very long. You're going to understand, okay? And I have pictures. I'll show you the pictures. So here's the first one, okay? Here's the first story number 1. Stick Boy and Match Girl in Love. Okay? Stick Boy and Match Girl in Love. Is this a children's book? It's just a book, Slit. Children can read it, adults can read it. Why do we need to discriminate? Stick Boy and Match Girl in Love. Okay? And then if you were like, what does Stick Boy and Match Girl look like? This is Stick Boy and Match Girl. Okay? You see? Stick Boy liked Match Girl. He liked her a lot. He liked her cute figure. He thought she was hot. Okay, so this is Stick Boy and Match Girl. Right? Stick Boy is what my family called me for, well, they still do. But could a flame ever burn for a match and a stick? It did quite literally. He burned up pretty quick. And so, and if you look deeper in this tale, isn't this the way love is? Sometimes you're attracted to somebody that's way too much, it's too dangerous. And you're like, no, I think we can love each other still, and you end up getting burnt. Oh, I see it's a silly book. Slit, don't. Why do you need to define it? It's a book. It's a book of stories. Why does it have to be silly or serious? What is this, a serious book? What do you consider a serious book? John Grisham? Well, I'm not reading you John Grisham before bed. We're going to read The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and other stories. That's it. The lesson is that bitches are trouble. Yes, that's it. Next story. If I had the board here with the echo effect, I'd go, next story. This story is about a boy. This is a bit longer, okay? In fact, this story is called Robot Boy. Robot Boy. Mr. and Mrs. Smith had a wonderful life. They were a normal, happy husband and wife. One day they got news that made Mr. Smith glad. Mrs. Smith would be a mom, which would make him a dad. But something was wrong with their bundle of joy. It wasn't human at all. It was a robot boy. He wasn't warm and cuddly, and he didn't have skin. Instead, there was a cold, thin layer of tin. There were wires and tubes sticking out of his head. He just lay there and stared, not living or dead. Okay, and this is what the robot boy looked like. She gave birth to this. Okay, this came out of her womb. Slit, why do you hate fun so much? Yeah, he wants us to read John Grisham. She cheated on him with a Tesla robot. This is some Nobel Prize literature. Okay, but it's not over. There's more. Because how do you end up with a robot boy? The only time he seemed alive at all was with a long extension cord plugged into the wall. Mr. Smith yelled at the doctor, "What have you done to my boy? He's not flesh and blood, he's aluminum alloy." The doctor said gently, "What I'm going to say will sound pretty wild, but you are not the father of this strange-looking child. You see, there is still some question about the child's gender, but we think that its father is a microwave blender." And here's Robot Boy alive, being plugged in. There it is. I know this is in mirror mode. I don't know why Streamlabs does this, but you get the idea. Her cooch is probably mulch after giving birth to that thing. Well, I guess that idea of having the chat open on my phone doesn't work. It just doesn't update if you have it in the background. Imagine if it came out like a transformer. Yeah. Yeah. His mom got ate out by a blender. Is this scary stories to tell in the dark for people who are afraid of the dark? Nope. This is the melancholy death of Oyster Boy and other stories. We're reading other stories. We haven't got there yet. I'd appreciate if you read this second grade teacher style, upside down and backwards so we could read along. Well, unfortunately, you can't read along because it's in mirror mode, I think. Is it in mirror mode? Maybe not. Can you read this? Did I fix the mirror mode thing, or is it still mirror mode? You tell me. No, it's backwards. Okay, that's what I thought. The story's not over, by the way. So they figured that it was the father of this child is a microwave blender. Okay? So the Smiths' lives were now filled with misery and strife. Mrs. Smith hated her husband, and he hated his wife. He never forgave her unholy alliance, a sexual encounter with a kitchen appliance. And Robot Boy grew to be a young man, though he was often mistaken for a garbage can. And here's them just throwing trash. While they hate each other, they throw trash in his head. So that is quite a wonderful... So you're telling me that this lady was a two-time hussy, a real Janice Rossi? Yeah, she was. A real whore in the building. So that was the story of the Robot Boy. Okay? Which is kind of sad because... But it kind of reflects... If we were to break this down academically, it kind of reflects the real strife that a child of adultery has to go through, where they are just a constant reminder of the crimes that their parents committed. So it is tragic, and they just become a trash receptacle for the relationship as time goes on. Lesson learned, hey, ladies, quit fucking outside of the relationship and getting pregos so you don't give birth to a robot boy. That's the lesson. The lesson of that story is, ladies, don't have sex outside of marriage and get pregnant, or else you'll have to give birth to a robot boy. And your husband will hate you. So there you go. Okay. We got another one. Next story. This story is about a young girl. So it's not all about boys. It's about, some of them are about girls. This one's called The Staring Girl. Quit getting spit roasted by a blender in a microwave, you skank. Yeah, and pull out of Filipinas if you don't want babies. True. You've learned that. It's a big story. So this story is about Staring Girl. I once knew a girl who would just stand there and stare. at anyone or anything, she seemed not to care. And here's a picture of her staring. See, that's what she looks like staring. It's kind of my type. If she was an adult, that is. She'd stare at the ground. And that's her staring at the ground. She'd stare at the sky. Here's her staring at the sky. So it's kind of the same, but she looks up. She'd stare at you for hours, and you'd never know why. That's her staring for hours. Kind of me coding. I will stare. I don't give a fuck. But after winning the local staring contest, okay, so here's her in the local competition of the staring contest. Okay, tough competition. So after winning the local staring contest, she finally gave her eyes a well-deserved rest. How does that look like? It looks like this. See? Her eyes got to take a rest for staring for so long. They get to just hang out by the beach. Okay. That was story number 3. I think we could do a 4th one. We got time for a 4th one. That's how my eyes felt after physics class. Yeah, see? It's relatable. A lesson of that story. Each of these stories have a lesson, by the way. Lesson of that story. Don't get you. Come on. You're just being a ham. Come on. The lesson of that story is sometimes a girl will stare. And that's okay. Because if she does, she will eventually pull her eyeballs out and have them relax at a beach. Okay? All right, next story. Now this one is kind of the polar opposite in every way. That was a girl who loved to stare at things forever and take in the gaze and see what's out there. This is a story called The Boy with Nails in His Eyes. Okay, it's The Boy with Nails in His Eyes. The boy with nails in his eyes put up his aluminum tree. It looked pretty strange because he couldn't really see. Here's the boy, and he's got nails in his eyes, putting up a strange tree. The problem is he just can't see anything because he has nails in his eyes. I don't know if you're aware of this, but he's got nails in his eyes. Sounds like they have American health coverage. Yeah, pretty much. The end. That was the end of that story. That was it. The end. So what's the lesson we can parse from that? Well, your Christmas tree isn't going to look like shit if instead of eyeballs, you just have nails. So there you go. Can you tell us a slit bedtime story? A slit bedtime story wouldn't look like this. It wouldn't be so nice and filled with lessons. A slit bedtime story would probably be something along the lines of, here we go. This will be great. This is a slit bedtime story. Okay, everybody, who's ready for bed? We're gonna read about the Nixon tapes. Who wants to read the Nixon tapes? Let's see here. Oh, Chapter 1. Chapter 1, February 16th, 1971. Richard Nixon and Alexander Butterfield are in the Oval Office. When Richard Nixon entered the White House, January 20th, 1969, he rejected Lyndon Johnson's suggestion to secretly record his meetings and telephone calls. Presidents had taped for over 30 years. Where does one find these books? The library. It looks like it has small print, a lot of pages, and very few pictures. That is true. That is very true. Look, no picture. Actually, there are some pictures in the middle. It's one of these in the middle, but I think they're black and white. Oh, no, they're in color. See? Here's Richard Nixon. He's taping people. He's recording conversations that'll eventually get him in trouble. There he is. Here's a great picture. Here's President Nixon speaking to Chairman Mao of Communist China. This is the beginning of when we started to ship off our manufacturing jobs out of the Midwest to China. Thanks, Richard Nixon, for the current state of Detroit. Wasn't really all his fault, but he didn't help. Anyway. Where were we? That's a slit story, by the way. That's a slit tale. Yeah, whoa, spoiler alert. Yeah, and Coleman Young. Well, I don't have the Coleman Young book yet. We'll read that one for the next story. Oh. All right. Let's get back to our bedtime stories, okay? I think we can do two more. And then we'll wrap up. I think we can do two more. Oh, no. You know what? We got a few more. We got a few more we can do. I don't know if they're two, but buying all your Africa gold coins with tax dollars. Yeah. Okay. The next story, to keep with the theme of eyes and seeing. So we had a girl who stares, a boy that with no eyes, but instead had nails driven in there. This is a story of the girl with many eyes. Okay, so this girl's got just a lot of eyes. The eyes have it. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for the best profit, yeah, that African child mind shit is tops. How lucky am I? I wanted to go to bed early today, and now I get to sleep to Nixon and nail eyeballs. Girl with many eyes. One day in the park, I had quite a surprise. I met a girl who had many eyes. She was really quite pretty and also quite shocking. And I had noticed she had a mouth, so we ended up talking. We talked about flowers and her poetry classes and the problem she'd have if she ever wore glasses. It's great to know a girl who has so many eyes, but you really get wet when she breaks down and cries. Okay? She has many eyes. Talk about her brown eye. No, they all seem to be blue eyes. So this is the girl with many eyes. So that's the girl with many eyes. The end. So what's the lesson we can pull out of that story? Sometimes women will cry. And the more eyes that they have, the wetter they'll get. That's the lesson in that story. That's a biblical angel. All right. Next story. And then we get to the final story. We got two more stories, and then we'll wrap it up. Girls cry. Oh, do they? Hey, get out of there. Hey, what are you doing over there? He's on the curtain. Get out of there, you fuckhead. I don't want to replace those. I don't know how to hang a curtain. Get out of here. Go on. What are you doing? Anyway, he doesn't sound tired yet. No, of course he's not. I am. All right. Stain Boy. We're going to do a story about Stain Boy. Of all the superheroes, the strangest one by far doesn't have a special power or drive a fancy car. Next to Superman and Batman, I guess he must seem tame. But to me, he's quite special. And Stain Boy is his name. He can't fly around tall buildings or outrun a speeding train. The only talent he seems to have is to leave a nasty stain. Sometimes I know it bothers him that he can't run or swim or fly, and because of this one ability, his dry cleaning bill is sky high. This is Stain Boy. You want to know what Stain Boy looks like? He looks like this. This is Stain Boy. Down there. Can you see? There it is. Stain Boy. Buddy, come on. What do you need? What do you need? My mom came by today while I was gone and gave him treats and everything. He got all kinds of attention. I don't know what he's bitching about. Is that about Mr. Twister? Was he a stain boy? Is Mr. Twister known for leaving stains? Okay. This is the last story. This is the last story, which is the self-titled story. Now, there's more stories. We're only halfway through the book, but this is where we're going to leave off today. This story is the melancholy death of Oyster Boy, which is the title. So this is the big story. This is the big story. The melancholy death of Oyster Boy. He proposed in the dunes. They were wed by the sea. There's pictures of dunes and the sea. Okay? Their 9-day long honeymoon was in the Isle of Capri. For their supper, they had one spectacular dish, a simmering stew of mollusks and fish. And while he savored the broth, her bride's heart made a wish. So here's the sea and the seafood. That wish did come true. She gave birth to a baby. But was this little one human? Well, maybe. 10 fingers, 10 toes. He had plumbing in sight. He could hear, he could feel, but normal, not quite. This unnatural birth, this canker, this blight, was the start and the end, and the sum of their plight. Oh, another child who's the bane of their parents' existence. Who could it be? Who's that Pokemon? Here. She railed at the doctor. He cannot be mine. He smells of the ocean, of seaweed and brine. You should count yourself lucky, for only last week, said the doctor, I treated a girl with 3 ears and a beak. What's going on with these children? They're all fucked up. That your son is half oyster, you cannot blame me. Have you considered by chance a small home by the sea? Yeah, these damn deformed kids. I'm trying to teach these kids and they're deformed. Oh, here's the doctor and being yelled at by the mother. There's the little oyster boy dreaming of the sea. She fucked a dolphin on the lawn. Does he die of neglect? I don't know, Slit. We have to read the story. Slit, you're already rushing to the end. We haven't got there yet. Not knowing what to name him, they just called him Sam. Or sometimes that thing that looks like a clam. Everyone wondered, but no one could tell. When would young Oyster Boy come out of his shell? When the Thompson quadruplets espied him one day, they called him a bivalve and ran quickly away. I'm thinking that means they called him gay or something. I don't know. So here's the little boy, the Oyster Boy, and he's got a shell head. And there's him being called a bivalve. Where did these kids come from? Chernobyl? I think, yeah, this is... Tim Burton must have been inspired by the neighborhoods of Chernobyl. One spring afternoon, Sam was left in the rain at the southwestern corner of Seaview in Maine. He watched the rain water as it swirled down the drain. His mom on the freeway in the breakdown lane was pounding the dashboard. She couldn't contain the ever-rising grief, frustration, and pain. She hates her child. She left him in the rain. She left her oyster kid in the rain. What a terrible mother this is. He was on acid. That too. Really, sweetheart, she said, I don't mean to make fun, but something smells fishy, and I think it's our son. I don't like to say this, but it must be said. You're blaming our son for your problems in bed. Whoa! What is going on there? Dick problems. He tried salves. He tried ointments that turned everything red. He tried potions and lotions and tincture of lead. Did he try fuck honey? I don't know. He ached and he itched and he twitched and he bled. Here they are in bed. She's chastising him for his failure of achieving erection since the birth of their son. The doctor diagnosed, I can't quite be sure, but the cause of the problem may also be the cure. They say oysters improve your sexual powers. Perhaps eating your son could help you do it for hours. The valve is one of the two hinged parts that make up the shell of a bivalve mollusk. Bivalves are a class of aquatic mollusks that include clams. Oh, okay. Never mind then. So yeah, they say oysters improve your sexual powers. Perhaps eating your son could help you do it for hours. Whoa! He came in on tiptoe. He came on the sly. Sweat on his forehead and on his lips a lie. Son, are you happy? I don't mean to pry. But do you dream of heaven? Have you wanted to die? You know, you can go to the store and buy oysters, by the way. You don't have to kill your son. I don't know. But I think it was his erection issues were psychological. You need to murder the son to love your wife. I don't know. Was that like an opposite of Oedipus? Sam blinked his eyes twice, but made no reply. Dad fingered his knife and loosened his tie. Wow, the marital issues in these stories is astounding. I really thought I've heard it all, but I guess not. Except with a weird eye and a beating heart, it is his oyster-shaped boy. As he picked up his son, Sam dripped on his coat. With the shell to his lips, Sam slipped down his throat. So here's the oyster boy, and here's the father, after cracking his head open with a knife, eating the inside so he could fuck his wife. And that actually rhymed. Look at that. They buried him quickly in the sand by the sea, sighed a prayer, wept a tear, and were back home by 3. A cross of gray driftwood marked Oyster Boy's grave. Words writ in the sand promised Jesus would save. But his memory was lost with one high tide wave. So yeah, they just didn't even give a shit. They just put him in sand and wrote in there, and they just didn't give a fuck. They hated this kid. Back home safe in bed, he kissed her and said, "Let's give it a whirl." But this time, she whispered, "We'll wish for a girl." And there's, as they continue to have sex now, fueled by the inside of their son's head, he's forgotten through the sands of time. Don't you hate when your parents do that to you? Yeah, you shuck the cuck. Tim is wild for this. Yep. And that's the end. That's the end of that story. That brings us to completing tonight's bedtime stories. Murdered him and really said, "Oh shucks," and got on with life. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's a good story to sleep to. I want you to think about this as you go to bed. You have to think to yourself, did your parents really love you? And if it was in their best interest, would they murder you and quickly forget about you? That's what you have to think about. But yeah, I think the lesson in that story is don't trust nobody. Especially if you're an oyster boy. Mr. Twister just realized he is oyster boy. JK's dad likes him enough? Okay, that's good. Well, anyway, I feel that that is the... I cut my hand today. It's actually Dunkachino did that. He got me good on the knuckles. I was bleeding pretty good. He abuses me. This cat abuses me. I don't know about anybody else has a cat that abuses them. I have to lie. I'm like, no, I fell down the stairs. You made me feel like I'm going to be... you made me feel like I'm going to be Nails in Ears girl. Unsolved Mysteries had stories like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, I believe it. So, anyway, I appreciate everybody hanging out so I could read you a nice bedtime story. I am going to go back to bed because I'm exhausted. And I only slept last night for like probably 4 hours. I sent you a link of toys from this book. Where did you send it? Did you whisper it to me? Because if it was in the chat, I don't see it. Or did you text it to me? You texted it to me. That works. I'll take that. Let's see. Oh, yeah. There are toys for this. You can get a Oyster Boy and the boy with nails in his eyes. And is it the stick guy that got burnt from the first story? Oh, there's a whole collection of them. Well, that about wraps it up. That was a good... Oh, we did run for almost an hour. But yeah, I'm going to go to bed. We're going to be back tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to do... Oh, I promised something before. Don't go yet because I did promise to reveal the big... here's the problem. I've been wanting to talk about this individual for some time, but there is just so much to cover, and I was like, man, this is going to be a daunting task, but I found the material to do it. However, here's the catch. This is probably going to be more than one stream. This would be, if we did the old days, this would be one of these 8-hour streams we would have done. But who's got time for that? So, because we got cake horn on Monday. We don't have a whole lot of time to squeeze this in. But I've been wanting to talk about this, and I put this person up there. The crimes, not as severe. But I put this up there where this will probably take a couple days, similar to Cho. This is a big one, and the first chapter of this is going to be the longest, because we have to start at the beginning to understand who this individual really is. Have sweet dreams about scary looking children. Yes, we are going to. I will, of course, I always do, but yes, it'll be a deep dive, and I think I can say confidently that the deep dive we'll be going into, this will be one that's been in the making for a long time. It will be about, are you ready for this? What would be great is if I just ended it right now. If I just ended it. Like, fortunately I can't, because it would be too obvious, because I have to poke the screen to do it. The next big stream. So tomorrow we're going to do something different, but the next big stream we're going to do is going to be about it's going to be someone that you know. You've seen him before. He's a familiar face, and there's a lot of lessons to learn from this individual. I put this up there with like a Cho or a Steel Toe, but there is just so much to cover. There's so much to cover. I think this is going to be somewhere in between like a Cho and a Steel Toe, I would say. Chet Hanks? No, not Chet Hanks. No, there is not enough to cover with Chet Hanks. Chet Hanks is cool. It's not him. No, it's not Chet Hanks. It's going to be, and honestly, in our big anti-gooning arc that we're in right now, I think this is appropriate. Andy Dick? Nope, it's not Andy Dick. Kind of close, though. We're getting closer. We get it closer. Is it a Slit deep dive? Yeah, it's about Slit. No, it's not about Slit. We're not deep dive. No, it's not about Slit. It's not about Andy Dick. It's about, and I've taken a lot. I've done the research, and I put stuff together. I did use my time wisely yesterday, but this is just too much. There's too much to do when I'm this fucking tired. But it's also gonna be, if we're gonna do a twofer Thursday night, we're gonna do it where it counts for Thursday and counts for Friday. This is the one. Tim the Fife Dog Fife. No, it's not about Tim the Fife Dog Fife. It's not about Ice Poseidon. As long as it isn't about Destiny. Well, I got news for you, Slit. It's about Destiny. That's right. We're going to be going all the way back to the beginning. And we're going to research this because, and this is why. This is why. We're going to do it like Steel Toe, where there is a lesson to be learned. We're going to go through his history of the crimes that have been committed. And I was about to compile it all myself when I found that somebody else out there, he has so many enemies, someone out there has already done it and compiled it. And that will catch us up to today with him. And then the next stream that we're going to do that'll deep dive, we got to squeeze it in before Cakehorn because we don't want this bleeding into Cakehorn, is going to be about his current crimes and the lessons therein. So I compare this to a Steel Toe. I think this is more along the lines of a Steel Toe, but there's crimes involved. So that puts it close to Cho. So that's, I bet Destiny owns a copy of Natural Harvest. I wouldn't doubt it. He loves his cummies. So that's going to be the big one. It's going to be a lot. There's a lot to cover. It's a deep dive. It's a grifter watch. It's true crime. It's everything we've done all wrapped up in one. You couldn't ask for something better. And when we finish this, that means we don't have to talk about him for quite some time. He's not looming in the background being like, well, one of these days we got to get to him. Nope. We're going to get it over with. We're going to peel this Band-Aid off. So we can say, hey, what did we accomplish in February? In Project Melvin, what did we accomplish? Because we didn't accomplish a whole lot. You know what I accomplished? Doing a lot of streams from my phone, bitching about how I'm not getting anything done. So this is something we're going to get done. As we end February, we're going to get this checked off the list. Yes, and edit down the streams after for YouTube. You can see how many Destiny stands you can trigger. Well, that's also the plan, because the last big Grifter watch was what's his name, Matt Walsh, and I had quite a few Matt Walshanites come in there and try to argue. The Cum Pig Diaries. Yeah, we call it the Cum Pig Diaries. And you know what's so great is it writes itself. But we're going to be going through... And honestly, I have a video that we're going to watch along with it, which is actually done by somebody who is also hateable in his own right. But, you know, the Matt Walsh stands. Yeah, we had some Matt Walsh. Yeah, go to that video. You look in the comments. Some people are upset. Some people are defending me, though, so I like that. I can't remember if I sent it to you. Look at what I sent you to see if a smoke detector video gets sent. In the form. Because I know I looked at what you sent in the forum when you brought it up last night. That's what I was saying was going to tie together. We're going to do a little gooning. So, well, we're not going to do the gooning. In the forum? Okay. I'll take a look. I can't look it up on my phone, but I'll take a look. But yeah, that's what we're going to cover. We're going to get that done. We're going to kick that off Thursday. And probably Thursday and... we'll either wrap it up either Saturday or Sunday. It'll be one of those two. Because it's going to be big. It's going to take a while to dig through all of what we got. And that's why I've been putting it off. And we have to just get it done. We have to get into March because we got cake horn right off the bat. It's Women's History Month. We got, as a feminist, that's big. That's big. We gotta do it up for the ladies this month. We got a lot to cover that's going to be women-centric. We got to get through all the women's stuff. We got St. Patrick's Day. We got the anniversary. We got so much in March. We can't have Destiny floating around gumming up the works, especially in Women's History Month. So we have to get that done. So, yes, Destiny's been around forever, so there's a lot of info. There is a lot of info. And it just... So we're gonna go through that Thursday. Tomorrow we may be on the road. I might take you on the road with me, and we may do a fast food review or something like that. Maybe we'll do something. We'll do that again. I'll find another obscure restaurant to go to that I haven't been to. We'll try that. We'll try to mix it up. In the meantime, but yeah, that's gonna be that. Why did Microsoft or Google Calendar remove a lot of stuff? Why did Microsoft or Google Calendar remove a lot of stuff? Did you hear about that? No, I have not heard about that. I have no idea about that. I have no idea. I don't know what that's even about. Try Hungry Habibi on Grossbeck. Oh, they removed Black History Month and stuff on Google Calendar? Well, I don't know. Well, it's over now. It's ending. We only got a few more days, so better luck next year, I guess. Maybe we try that. I was thinking, there was a couple places, because I was like, we did the Chick-fil-A, and I don't want to just do like a Taco Bell or something. That's just stupid. No, I want to go somewhere that's kind of different. And, because we did Chick-fil-A and fucking Krispy Kreme. I mean, I've literally never been through the drive-thru of either of those. So that was nice. So I was like, you know what, we could do something. Maybe either one that I haven't been to or one I haven't been to in a while. But it's got to have a drive-thru, because I'm not going into a restaurant carrying this around. I'm not ice Poseidoning it yet. I don't quite feel comfortable walking around in regular public with my phone. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. Maybe when it's warmer outside, and I don't have to bundle up so much. I think they said it was because of the DEI stuff. They got rid of Black History Month for DEI? There's a lot of other DEI they could have cut before Black. There's a lot. Like, why start there? Like, there's a lot of, like, dumb stuff that they could have got rid of first. Like, that one just seems like you're overcorrecting. Oh, you don't know the actual reason? Okay. Never mind about Hungry Habibi, then no drive-thru. No, but there's a couple places I'm thinking of that'll have a drive-thru. So, yeah, we'll give that a shot. So I think that's what we'll do tomorrow, because tomorrow I got a pretty packed, stressful day, and that will be a way to do that. And then Thursday, we get the Destiny stuff done, and then we get into the weekend. Well, Thursday, and then somewhere in the weekend, we wrap up the Destiny stories. They claim too many days, weeks, months, holidays to backtrack from all over the world, so they just got rid of a lot. I mean, to be honest, yeah, keep the national holidays, because that's what I use Google Calendar for. Is like, hey, is there a holiday coming up? So, but that's what we got going. Is we have a plan. We're gonna get through it. I'm not shortchanging nobody. I don't want to do that. I felt so bad waking up from that nap today, where I'm like, fuck, I can't do it. There's no way I got the energy to cover the Destiny stuff, because that's what we were gonna cover today. It's like, I don't have the energy to do it. So I'm going to read you a story. And you know what? Next time I'm tired again, I'm going to read you a story. I'm not going to sit here like on the Super Bowl and just kind of talk to you. I'm not going to go and do it from the couch. We're going to read you a bedtime story. That's our new thing. So we can finish Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy, and then we can read you a Slit story. We can start with Atlas Shrugged by Aaron... What's her name? Ayn Rand. Atlas Shrugged. I know Slit would love it if I read you guys this one. You did an hour at least? That's a solid stream. Yeah, that's what I figured. We did a solid stream. I don't even like shitty stories like that. What? The Oyster Boy? Yeah, that's why I figured Atlas Shrugged would be up more up your alley. Or would you prefer Ernest Hemingway's Farewell to Arms? That's another Slit tale we could read. I heard that's a good one, but there's a lot of citations. Yeah. Something like that. What else do we got here to be a good Slit tale? Anyway, we'll find out. Next edition of I'm Too Tired to Do a Stream will be right here in my library. What was that guy, Ty Lopez, years ago? Remember he had that stupid commercial where he's like, I'm here in my garage with my library of books in my garage. I'm like, who has a library in their garage? What the fuck is that? Anyway. Read us becoming Michelle Obama. I don't have anything like that. No, I have the Britney Spears book. Honestly, so I have the Britney Spears book. I read like 2 chapters of it, and the thought came to my head before I put it down is, I should read this on like a stream. We should like marathon stream reading the Britney Spears book. Like that would be, it would probably be easier if I had like a Kindle version I could bring up on the computer. But yeah, something like that. I think we need to incorporate more reading. That's my point. I think we're going to do some more reading. Just in different ways. Not like this. We'll sit at one of the computers and do it. But is there an audiobook of her reading her book? Probably. But that's not as fun. I think it would be more fun if I read it. So. But alright. We're going to wrap this up. I cannot raid over on this end. So if you're a mod, go ahead and cast the raid or host wherever you'd like it to go, or just don't. You're just going to go off on your own. You know, you can do your thing. But I'm going to go to bed now. I'm very tired. And I appreciate you letting me read you these stories. And I will definitely see you tomorrow. I appreciate you. Thank you for being a friend as always. That way we can all witness a Britney moment together. Yeah, exactly. You never gave me the permission to raid? Oh, what? Oh, Reaper missed the bedtime story? You did. You did, Reaper. It's okay. Keep your note. I'll be on tomorrow. Not for bedtime stories. We're going to go out on the road and do a fast food review. So be here tomorrow evening. Probably around 7 o'clock-ish. 6 or 7. Whenever I'll be on the road. So, yeah, come join us. Come join us, Reaper. Join us. And if you because the mobile doesn't allow me to add in the alerts, at least not that I'm aware of. So when we're back at the computer, I'll replay all the alerts that everybody did. Kick and Twitch related. Slit is like the original Sandman. I'm going to fly my broom over you while you lay down so I can sprinkle sand dust into your eyes. Scooping kids out. Kids' eyes out if the kids are still sleeping. All right. I'm going to go to bed. Sleep well. Bye-bye. Good night. And I'll have to go and make sure that all the mods can do raids from now on. So. All right. I'm gonna say goodbye. Say goodnight, Dunkachino. Say goodnight. He's too busy licking his leg or something. Bye-bye.